Hey everybody, you're tuned into Friends with Death Benefits, another episode. I believe we're on to episode 4 at this point. Thank you to everyone that's been paying attention. My name is Justin Paulson. With me as always is my ever unpredictably, emotionally explosive co-host, Tiff Mussman.
Hey. Oh.
Is she laughing? Is she crying? Is she doing both? We don't know. We're not sure. We're not sure. Good to be here.
Yeah.
Another one down.
Yep.
The last one was a little crazy.
A little deep.
But it needed to happen, I think. We're going to try to keep this one a little more lighthearted, I think.
Yeah.
We're going to...
Yeah. Let's have fun with our despair.
Yeah, shall we? Shall we? Let's just really enjoy this sadness. And let's... It's funny because it's true.
Yes.
I think what we're going to be talking about a lot today is just how irrational you get going through stuff like this, how a tragic event turns you into a crazy person, a forgetful person, a irrational person. And I think I'm finding out as we talk, 'cause I know a lot of radio shows, the hosts hate each other, and as soon as the cameras and everything goes off, they go into separate rooms and they actually don't hang out at all outside of taping, which isn't the case for me and Tiff. We actually talk a lot outside of recording, and she's far meaner to me.
I'm trying to get away. It's like...
Yeah, it's she's having a hard time ditching me. It's there's a lot of regrets that come along with grief, and her biggest is supporting mine. I'm like Jim Carrey at the end of The Cable Guy, when the guy in the medic in the helicopter is like, "You're going to be all right, buddy." And he's like, "You mean it? Am I really your buddy?" You're stuck now, dude.
Oh, it's my cross to bear.
It is. But I know you had mentioned something that I'd forgotten about.
Yeah.
That kind of sparked this whole thing.
One of the things I kind of joke about a lot when it comes to like grief is irrational fear. And the initial moment where I was fully enthralled with you and my pity for you was a post that you had made about your mountain dog, Grace. And it was how many, I don't know, a week or just a few days after you lost your mom.
Yeah, not long.
Yeah.
Not super long.
So you had made a post about taking Grace to the vet for a checkup and how you've never been so afraid, and some other kind of emotional bullshit. And so I recognized what that was right away on that post, and so that was the initial voice note that I sent you 5 months ago or whatever. Just saying, hey, I recognize that. Here's what's really going on. Let me unearth a little
You
bit.
think that's bad? Wait till you see what's coming.
Yeah, you are in for it. Yeah. So, we just kind of shared with you just a couple things about irrational things that I had, when I lost my sister, not being able to be alone. And, even like when I was taking a shower, like Kyle would just have to be in the bathroom because I had this irrational fear that he was just going to die on me, and yeah, went through things with my animals like that. And so I recognized right away what I was looking at. And I think one of the things I joke about as it happens are these weird, crazy fears that just pop out of nowhere.
Sure.
Like there's just this boogeyman in my backseat that tells me like that ambulance right there, that's going to your house.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So there's a lot of that that surrounds grief, and like a lot of that happens because you're just in a weird spot.
Sure.
And everything kind of makes you afraid. And some of it's pretty heavy, and I think you carry it with you for a while, and some of it's just like, come on, Tip. Like,
right. Well, and that's the thing. As much as you can laugh about it, it's still super real.
Yeah.
Like whether it makes sense or not, it's definitely like, I believe that you believe that that's what's going on kind of situation. But like, even like, because I'd never experienced anything like this before, and I hope to, with any luck, never lose another person that much sooner than I should have. You know what I mean? I'm really hoping everybody I know is going to live well into their 90s at this point, because I just yeah.
Not with the people you hang out with, dude.
Yeah, well, everybody's doing their best out here, you know.
You can't survive on Dr. Pepper and expect.
Yeah, we're not going to name names, but you need more than 4 hours of sleep in 6 days. Yeah. But it's like I said, everybody's trying, but like you don't, you aren't even able to at first grasp how real and heavy and intense the situation is, because you've never been through anything like that before. Mm-hmm. A fear I had the day it happened was, by complete coincidence, me and Tiff were like casual acquaintances. I mean, we were friends, but like it's different now, obviously. But Tiff is involved with a lot of social justice stuff going on in the community. And she was actively being part of an event down in Central Park. And I was impressed by everything the community was doing and the togetherness of it. And as someone who wants to be on the right side of stuff and help, but doesn't always necessarily understand or even have the courage to necessarily do it in the most productive ways, I thought to myself, like, well, what can I do to help? And it was like a cookout that was going to be serving food to a lot of people that probably, you know, some of them maybe even haven't had a really awesome meal, you know, in a while. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, well, I'm good at barbecue. Mm-hmm. So I lit my smoker up and put a couple big pieces of pork on the smoker and messaged Tiff and told her, hey, I'm going to volunteer some food for this thing. And we were kind of talking that morning just a little bit about that, you know, and we're appreciative of that. And 2-3 hours into that smoke is when I got the call about my mom. And I went through that whole day. And within like a few hours, I was a different person. Yeah. But I had this fear that afternoon of, oh, I never told Tiff what happened. Now we're going to have to tell her what happened, and she's going to think I'm a total flake. When if there's ever a get out of work sick card, it's when your fucking mom dies unexpectedly from a bleeding ulcer.
Oh, man.
But I was like, listen, can you get old of Tiff and just tell her? It's like, hey, sorry we didn't come through on that promise we made. You know, unfortunate afternoon. Some stuff happened. And go figure, you understood, you know, but in that moment, you don't even realize like how huge it is, because it's those first few hours are, I think we could probably do an entire episode on just the feelings and of just that first day after it happens, because there's nothing like it. It's never rawer or fresher or weirder than it is the moment you have to figure out how to do that, or try to. Yeah. Figuring out it's not an option really. But yeah, like that was, but even to go back to the grace thing, you know, these things that you take for granted, like, oh, I can take the dog to the vet and she's going to be fine, because when you take the dog to the vet, she's fine. I can jump in the car and drive 60 miles an hour down the road, because when you jump in the car and drive 60 miles an hour down the road, everything's fine. People do it every day. But then all of a sudden, in the same token, it's like, I don't have to worry about my mom dying at 56, because that doesn't happen to very many people. But then it happens to you, and all of a sudden, all those things that you think probably won't happen to you, why wouldn't they happen? Because the thing that did happen is far worse than any of that. Mm-hmm. So now all of a sudden, that's a worry. Like, I'm taking my dog to just get checked up on. But in my head, I'm like, okay, I'm going to find out she's got cancer. Yeah. And a month after I lost my mom, I'm going to have to say bye to my dog, who is like a member of the family, you know, like I don't have any of my own kids, and she's the first dog. I had dogs growing up that were my parents' dogs, and my dog too, you know, but she was my dog. Mm-hmm. Is my dog. She's still here. I shouldn't talk about her like that. She still is my dog. And that would be something I wasn't ready to deal with, but those are the thoughts you have. If this incredibly horrible, seemingly impossible thing just happened, why wouldn't anything else happen? And why would I even for a second pretend like it couldn't? And the answer to that is because you'll go fucking crazy if you think that way, and you need to figure that shit out real quick before your friend sits you down at a bar and tells you so.
Oh yeah. One of the irrational fears that I have, or I would say that I had really, really strong and still lingers on a little bit, is like that people can just tell by looking at me, like I just wear it like some kind of weird smock or something, you know, like I have this fear that people are gonna like give me the head tilt and like again, it happened again,
Deal with you with gloves on.
Yeah. And so it's just like the fear of not being recognized as myself. And the truth of the matter is, like, I'm not myself, but like I still want to be treated like I am. And so then there, like, alongside that is also the fear, like, okay, you're gonna go to the grocery store today. You're probably gonna see a couple of people that you know, and they're gonna talk to you about it, or they're gonna A, give you the look, they're gonna B, look down and pretend you don't exist, or they're gonna C, talk to you about it. And right now we're kind of lucky because we have to wear masks in public now. Mm-hmm. So I think like it's kind of like when you're a kid and you close your eyes, you're like, you can't see me. It's like somehow I think this mask makes me invisible. Like they're not going to see you.
When the saddest part of your face is your eyes, it's all they're just focused in on the tunnels of sadness that are your eyes.
Yeah, constant stream of tears and chapped cheeks.
Because at least if you didn't have to wear a mask, you could have a really crazy smile on your face while you cried. Yeah, people would just think you're insane and not just super sad.
Yeah, you don't know what's going on underneath here.
Because everyone wants to talk to the upset person, but nobody wants to talk to the smiling, crying person in the frozen food section.
So true.
Yeah, they're really upset, but seem really happy about it.
That's
their defense mechanism, but COVID has ruined that.
that's very
absolutely
true.
Ruined that.
Yeah. So like that's definitely a fear of just like, how will I respond? How will people respond to me? You know?
Yeah, like, is no one going to want to hang out with me now?
Oh, yeah. That's a real fear. That is a real fear. Like, nobody's inviting me over for dinner.
It's like, you feel like it's like the closest thing we'll ever feel to, like, what, like, people of color have to feel being around racists trying to hide it. You know, it's like, yeah. They're just like, oh, don't say anything stupid to this person that's going to make me look bad. That's how everyone is to us now because we're sad. Like, it's like, okay, I get it now. I totally get it. Kinda,
yeah.
But it's just, you worry about that. You worry about like, and then in turn, like, you have to make decisions on how you're going to react based on how you're feeling that day or how you want to handle it, which in turn might make you feel bad. Because it's not that person's fault, but you're just not trying to do that. Yeah. So you're like, I'm going to be extra dickish and standoffish to this person so they get right away that this isn't what I'm trying to do right now.
Yeah.
And it was the wrong time to run into me at the dollar store, I guess. I don't know. But.
So I'm out to dinner like a month post with a couple friends of mine, and I'm having anxiety. I've never had social anxiety ever. And now I have it, so that's great. And so I'm out at dinner. We're eating. I've had a glass of wine. I'm kind of just relaxing a little bit. And then one of the girls that I was with saw a friend of hers, and it happened to be this girl's birthday. And she's young. So she's wearing a birthday sash that lights up. It says birthday girl on it. And she's having a good time in her fatigue pants and crop top. Okay. Like she is in it to win it. And
it's her night.
It's her night. And I'm just like, all right, good for you. But then I realize she's coming over to our table and she's going to talk to my friend, and that's okay. But in her condition at that point, it was just like, what I could normally just handle, be like, hey, yeah, girl, like you having a good time, blah, blah, blah. Like, I just am nowhere near, like, emotionally ready for this. So she comes over and she's, you guys should totally come over and we're going to go here and we should go dancing. You should come dancing.
I love dancing.
To come dancing with us. And,
when
she's
when you're being
me.
yell whispered at drunk people, they can't decide if they want to be loud or quiet, so they do both. Yes. It's a level of drunk that it's just not.
Right. So she's having a good time. And this is the level of drunk she's at because she can't even tell that I am just looking rough. Like, I don't know.
You're so pretty. Yeah. The way your mascara is running down your face.
Are your eyes always that puffy? They really look.
Most people couldn't pull it off, but she's doing so good.
Yeah. So, yeah, it's a lot of that.
And you're just bawling. And
Yes. And so it's starting to get heavy on me. So like I kind of like put my head in my hands and I'm kind of like rubbing my forehead a little bit. Not to like a Jack Nicholson kind of crazy, but like a little bit of just like, it's going to be okay. Like kind of giving myself a pep talk, like, you're going to be okay. You're going to be okay. You'll get through this. And then she goes, oh my God, am I being too loud?
That's what it is. Your volume is.
And
very
I just go, no, it's okay. But I had to gauge right then. How am I going to respond to this? Because you can't really tell this girl.
Are we ruining this girl's birthday?
Yeah,
are
we going to do this? Are we going to do it? So I just am like, no, so I have to basically lie and just be like, no, I have a headache. And it's the size of a 24-year-old girl with a sash. And I'm just like, no, and she's like, I'm so sorry. Do you want to come dancing?
I bet dancing will make you feel better.
And she just keeps going. And like, and I had I think what was probably my first panic attack because I'm like, you're going to freak out. You're freaking out, Tiff. Oh God, your carotid. It's pumping so hard. She can see your carotid moving through your throat. Calm down. Just go to the bathroom. Get up, go to the bathroom. And so, yeah, I went into the bathroom and just was like, just hoped and prayed that when I came back to my salad that she wasn't there.
Yeah, dude.
And so, yeah, that's sort of what happens now.
I like to think that girl to this day randomly just goes, so I turned 24 and this girl was at the bar and she hated birthdays. I don't know what they made her sad and I didn't even know her and I wanted to go dancing and she just wanted to be sad about my birthday and I had on my best camouflage pants and my sash and I just hope I don't meet that sad girl again. I don't think she liked me very much.
Yeah.
And it's so weird for me too because I spent like my 20s closing down the bar in Mason City. Like I just drank. I don't drink at all anymore. Just a choice I made. But I was like the kind of guy that would be at Laredo's till 2:30 in the morning, and Matt would be like, "Grab the vacuum or get out, dude." Because
yeah.
But it's weird now being like out at the bar because anytime I go out now, it's usually to perform or on the random occasion someone asks me to just come out and be social. But anyone that sees me in that setting expects, hey, it's the comedian. Hey, it's the funny guy.
Yeah.
And like to be in any type of mood, I've been in any random spectrum of sadness and on the brink of breaking down that I've been over the past few months. Like that's not the Justin people want to hang out with. No, that's not and there's not like much you can do about it. And that's another fear is like trying to keep up, like trying not to burden people with what's burdening you.
Yeah. Yeah. Like how much is too much to talk about it?
And then not feeling like, because then on the other side of it, you're like, well, screw that. I'm going through all this. I can be as upset as I want to be.
Yeah.
It's a weird tightrope to walk.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah. Because it's like we've obtained the grief card. We might as well use it.
Yeah.
Like what can I get away with?
Actually, as a matter of fact, I'm waiting for like whose throat I'm going to rip out the first time someone makes a mom joke at me.
Oh.
You know what I mean? Like, that's what your mom said when I was at her house last night. I'm like, you motherfucker, you were there? I don't even get my what. We found him just chewing this guy's ears off. And he's been in jail ever since. I don't. And I used to love horrible jokes like that, you know, because
sure. Yeah.
I had a mom.
Yeah.
You know, it's
Yeah. Yeah.
funny how selfish you get when things change. Well, it was funny when it was your mom, but now that it's my mom. Maybe I'm more hypocritical than I thought I was. But, I'm super scared of I will say, like I said, we do some pre-taping, and it is early November, which means Halloween's done and the holidays are here. Every store starts playing Christmas music. Everybody starts planning for all their stuff, and I've never been more scared of it in my whole life. On top of, if anyone, for the people that caught the last episode, I'm in the middle of not being certain on what even my home situation looks like, let alone the activities that are going to take place, where they're going to take place, who they're going to take place with, how I'm going to act at functions, if I'm going to be able to pull myself up enough to participate in the attempts by friends and family to include me. I don't know. I think that's the scariest part. Is I feel like I know myself pretty well, but I can't. No matter how much I think about it and try to plan for scenarios, I really cannot say how I'm going to be or what I'm going to be able to do. And I'm not someone that likes so much uncertainty.
Yeah.
Freaks me out a bit. So
I have a real fear of not, like, I don't know if it's FOMO, like fear of missing out, because people don't want to invite me because, like, I just don't like Christmas.
right.
But I put on my best for others, you know, and I really do. I get into it and I enjoy it once I'm in it. But, like, now I'm afraid that I won't. And, like, people will just always dub me as, like, the Scrooge now. And if you do, like, eat a whole bag.
Right.
Because, like,
To the brim.
yeah, I'm gonna. I ain't change it for
I will
you.
tell you, I think that you've learned this too about me being friends with me, that I just keep inviting people to do stuff that I want to do. And, like, it doesn't, like, I asked, I think through the month of October, I think I asked Tiffany 17 and a half times to go to haunted houses with me. And, like, the schedules it wasn't in the cards this year, but it didn't stop me from asking every single weekend. And when we first got to be friends, I opened up to her about how much I did and still do and always will love professional wrestling, and how it's my ability to cook good food is how I've tricked a lot of my friends into coming and sitting through pro wrestling shows with me, so I don't have to watch them alone.
Yeah.
And
That doesn't even sound desperate.
no, it's really not. It's really not at all. I'm glad that you noticed that.
Yeah.
But she's like, invite me, and I'm like, be careful what you wish for, Jeff, because there's roughly 12 pay-per-views a year.
Every Friday, Saturday, and Sunday.
But I will invite you to every Christmas thing.
Yeah.
And you can turn me down or not, but I will. I'll be bummed right with you. We'll just.
Yeah, you know, and I'll just say, like, is it really that far of a stretch? Like, everybody's got the weird uncle. Like, just pretend I'm that guy now. Like, just accept me. Just accept me. Let me sit in the corner.
We should bring each other to all the most inappropriate events that we have to go to. Like, before you have to go to a holiday event, ask yourself, would it be super weird to bring Justin? And if so, call me. And I'll do the same for you. Like, and it's like, yeah, there's no reason to bring Tiff to this at all. I'm on my way. I'm going to pick you up. And then no one can question it because we'll just start crying and then they'll feel like a jerk.
Yeah. Yeah. You don't, I mean, if you're listening, like, you don't want to be that guy.
No.
You don't want to be that guy.
And that's what I was going to say is the other weekend, Halloween weekend, it was the week I found out about everything that's going on with my house. but I think I got really down because I did a lot of self-evaluation after that. And I have a huge issue with the whole fear of missing out thing. I'm very into sentimental shit, and experiences, and getting to say that I experienced things that, like, I much prefer experiencing things than not experiencing them. Stupid shit like me and Alyssa, when the Subway and the mall closed, we got the last 2 Subway sandwiches that ever came out of that place. And no one else can say that, Tiff. You know who can? The co-host of this show, and you should be proud to be my friend. Stuff like that. You know what I mean? And like little thing, like I love Halloween. I dress up almost every year. I love to have something to do. And because of everything going on and money being tight, I decided not even to really look into a costume, and no plans came up. But I'm like, oh, it's the first full moon on Halloween since 1944, and Halloween's on a Saturday, and I'm just sitting here at home not doing anything because nobody asked me to, because nobody wants me at their Halloween party. And I don't know if that's because I'm bummed or just because nobody really liked me to begin with. Yeah. And like, then I'm just like, I see all of these kids that I don't know on Facebook in their Halloween costumes, and I'm like, they didn't invite me to go trick-or-treating. And then like all you guys went to that party that I had no reason to be invited to, and I was like, nobody invited me to that party with those people I don't know. I don't even know where it was, but nobody asked me to go. And like Alyssa's like, that's because nobody, stop it. and like I think like a combination of, I'm bummed about my mom, I'm bummed about all the consequences that are coming along with the fact that my mom's gone. And the one thing that has been a saving grace for me is distraction. And on one of the biggest holidays that I usually enjoy the most, nothing's distracting me. And I think it just bummed me out. Yeah. And I think it was super hard to shake.
Yeah. Whoa. That's, yeah.
And I didn't realize it in the moment.
Yeah.
But
wow.
It was just a crossing of, it's a perfect storm of sadness.
Yeah. Well, because at some point, that's going to happen, right? Mm-hmm. Like at some point, all of the horrible stars will align, and like you're going to sit in this shit storm, like, and be still. You will be still,
and you'll like it.
You will like it. And so Halloween just happened to be it for you, which is so crazy, right?
It is. It is weird, and also like. It was the first, like, it's so weird because I make my money in bars. Mm-hmm. And more often than not, people are drinking alcohol in bars.
Yeah.
And I've learned that I don't mind alcohol. I once enjoyed it quite a bit. I don't mind people enjoying alcohol at all. But I have a very hard time with very drunk people. And I know without a doubt that it's because of having to watch my mom. Be like that, and seeing someone in that state brings back those memories of just like disgust and being upset and being frustrated. And that's the thing about the nightlife in North Iowa is if you don't want to go to the bar and get drunk, especially during a pandemic, there's not a lot to do.
Right.
And I didn't take that into consideration. Yeah. It's like, well, no one's hardly doing anything. It was like, no, I'm not. It's me who's not having fun. Everyone else is, and I'm on a diet and I can't even eat these Snickers that no kids came to our house. No one wants to trick or treat here because they think I'm weird and sad. And then I yelled, come over here if you want some candy to the neighbor kids. And I knew as soon as that came out of my mouth, it was a bad idea. But I said it, and the people just need to understand. And it's just like, it's irrational. It doesn't make it's like it's no one invited you to do anything because there's nothing to do.
Yeah, right.
But you couldn't have told me, and I didn't even know. You know what I mean? I had no idea. I just like, but those are the moments that come. You know what I mean? And it's, you learn a little each time. It's
it's crazy.
Different.
It's that's a polite way to put it.
It's different.
It's just different.
He's different. That's
yeah.
But I don't even know what I want to do with these holidays. You know what I mean? It's like, do I make plans and create events for me to distract myself? Do I just hope other people invite me? Is that even something I want? Do I think that's what I want? I actually don't.
Yeah.
That was the other thing, kind of to go back to what you're saying about being afraid of people not treating you like the real you, or treating you differently, or treating you based on this event instead of who you are as a person. I was afraid that, so the first show I did back after Mom died, I didn't know if I was going to be able to do it.
Yeah.
I didn't know. I knew until I got on stage and was in front of people trying to go through my jokes what it would feel like. There's just no, that's the weird thing with comedy, is it's hard to practice, because practicing is the game in lifetime. And so I just had to go for it. And I just had to see what happened. And it went well. And I got laughs, and it was mostly a room full of strangers. And I had to remember, like, these people don't know the week you had. They don't know that the most awful thing in the world just happened to you. They just know that they paid $5 to hear someone make them laugh. And I got through it. And Jake Peterson, my good friend and fellow comic, felt the need to say something.
Right.
And I think the thing that freaked me out about that wasn't that, oh, he's bringing up this horrible thing, or he's stirring something up. My super weird irrational fear was that all these people in the crowd that just watched me make goofy jokes for a half hour are going to go, this dude's all sad and bummed out. Everything he said was bullshit. He made me laugh, and it wasn't even really funny. Now that I have context, boo this man. Like, I thought that, like, being sad took away the validity that I had as a comic. Like, sad people can't be funny. Like,
Right.
it just goes, that's insane. That is an insane thought. There's no...
Yeah, that is...
Because it turns out I'm still super funny.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
it's still
And
working.
people are still paying $5 to hear it.
And upwards to $7. I mean...
On a good night.
Yeah.
On a good night.
So it's... and I don't doubt for a second that they're going to keep coming.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Things that I'm really like, what was that? You know what I mean? Like, really? What was that, dude? Like, and that's like, you can't help but laugh, because it gets so ridiculous sometimes.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
It really does.
Oh, yeah. So it's like the irrational fear can go anywhere from, like, my spouse is going to die at any moment. Like, I'm reaching over every 15 minutes to make sure that they're breathing, to, I guess I'm just never going to be funny anymore.
Yeah, this is my life now.
Yeah. Just such a vast range.
It's like the uncertainty, because you don't know. You don't, like, going
don't.
forward, like, is this just the person that I am now? It's like, it kind of reminds me of, like, when you're a kid and you're experiencing things for the first time, you have no context to base that against.
Yes.
You know, like, where, like, for you, your sister died, you kind of knew some of the grief stuff. Obviously it's different in its you know, specificity, but, like, for me, like, you don't know how to handle things or do things because you've never experienced that, and you don't know for sure exactly what's going to happen. I watched a comedian talk about his young daughter, and the first time she ever got the flu, and how she just, like, the way she looked at it, and how irrational it was the way she looked at it, because she was super sick and, like, sitting on the toilet with a bucket, and it's like she's this little 5-year-old sick as a dog for the first time. It's coming out both ends, and she doesn't know what to do with herself. And this comedian said that in between hurling, she looked up at him and went, I guess this is my life now. Like, she just thought that puking and crapping all over the place was just what was going to happen from now on, because it had never happened before, but now it's happening. So this is just how it is.
Yeah.
Like, it's kind of like that. It's kind of like, I
simple.
guess this is my life now.
Yeah.
I guess.
Yeah, it's coming out of both ends forever.
Dude.
Yeah.
You just got to decide, like, you got to prioritize it sometimes.
What's more important right now?
Yeah. Which mess do I want to clean up?
Yes. Yeah. It feels very much like that.
Dude.
So much like that.
I don't know.
Yeah. But, you know, there's also, like, knowledge is power. So it's
Right.
like, now
Won't be doing that again.
now And now you all know what to look for.
It's like, well, I'm not going to approach that guy like that again, mostly because we're not friends anymore because I weirded him out and I won't have that opportunity. But the next person that comes along, I probably won't scream in their face for no reason.
Right.
I don't know.
Yeah, it's crazy.
I don't know.
Yeah.
But we're trying. You know what I mean? And that's the thing is like, I'm sure a lot of this stuff, people that are listening are like, dude, I remember that, or I'm going through that now, or, and maybe they never thought about that, but it's like.
So from a professional standpoint, everything you're going through is exactly what you should be going through.
Yeah, there's no rule book.
No.
At all.
No. Feel as crazy as you want. In fact, pull the grief card, act as crazy as you want. I say yes to no pants. You can at least get away with that one time and be like, you know what, officer, she just didn't know. She just lost her son.
Right. I started wondering, like, how long can I use that if I get pulled over? It's like, sir, why were you driving 65 through that playground at 3 a.m? Well, my mom just died, and I'm just not in a good place mentally. Really, I'm sorry to hear that. When was it? Last year.
Yeah. At like the 16-year mark, you probably won't get away with it. You'll have to move out of state.
And then you start over.
Just start over.
Lie about the timeline because you haven't developed enough as a person.
Well, you could be honest about the timeline too, and then they'll just look at you with pity like, yeah, did you hear what he said?
Did he say 14 years? Is that what he said?
This dude's in a bad way.
Let's not invite him next year.
Yeah. Oh, guys. We really hope that you enjoyed this episode. This was good. This was a fun one.
We need to goof around a little bit after that last one, I think. Because that's the thing is, we understand that the majority of this content is heavy and it's serving a specific purpose, but you have to keep figuring out ways to get through it.
Yeah.
And for both of us, laughing is a big part of that for us. I think it's a big part of the glue that holds our friendship together is our senses of humor.
For sure. Yeah.
That is lost on some people sometimes.
And that's cool. I mean, that's probably why we don't hang out.
Yeah, right.
Like,
chances are you're not that fun anyways.
Yeah. I don't want to come to your stupid party.
Right? I mean, I do though. I really, really do. I don't want to miss it. Please. I even started telling myself, like, they should invite me to their Halloween parties because I'm better at costumes than they are and they don't want to lose. I'm sure of it. I'm too awesome for their party. That's what it is. Melissa's like, are you talking to yourself over there? Is that?
Yep.
You need some air? You want to walk around the block again? I don't think it's going to do it this time. That's what she says when she really, when I'm just being, you want to walk around the block again?
Yeah. Oh, man. She's just trying to get you away from any sharp objects.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
She doesn't let me post on Facebook in the morning because like I haven't like put that filter on yet.
Oh,
and like I'll say something super mean to somebody and she'll be like, if you'd just waited till 10 a.m., you would have realized that wasn't a good idea. Yeah. That's why one of her aunts has me blocked now. You know, it's like these are the things that happen. But
you didn't want to go to that party. You don't like Aunt Cheryl. No, you don't be like Cheryl.
She doesn't get it. Clearly,
she doesn't get it. So yeah, we hope you tune in future episodes.
Yeah, this is number 4. So it has been a month that we've been doing this. Please continue with the feedback. I think it's one of the most important things to us and what kind of motivates us to keep going is to hear and it's worth something to somebody. And that putting ourselves in a position to talk about stuff that isn't super easy to talk about sometimes is bettering lives.
Yeah.
Which is huge.
We know it's bettering at least 2.
Yeah.
Yeah, at least.
I had a guy get a hold of me actually and say that thanked me for making his day better. Just having listened to it. Which to me that's reason enough.
Yeah.
And I think we need to, I know I've said this before, but if we all focused on that more, like if we all focused on making the people around us feel less shitty, it'd be amazing how quick that spread across pretty large areas.
Yeah.
Think
and really,
globally, act locally.
There you go. I mean, truly, it's really the only cure for what we have.
Mm-hmm.
You know, if there is a cure, it's like it takes the edge off for sure, and I think eventually can be really healing.
For sure. As like I said, as much as I'm confused and nervous and just flat out afraid of what the holidays have in store for me, I know that I'm going to learn a lot about the people that care about me and just what that looks like and what that means. And I hope that I'm able to pull that out of it and realize just how much some people care about me more than I even realize they do. I don't know who those people are yet.
Yeah.
But I have no doubt that they'll show themselves.
Yeah.
And I won't be surprised if I'm surprised.
Yeah. That's
by a lot of it.
Yeah. For sure.
So as freaked out as I am, I'm somewhat looking forward to it in a weird ass backwards kind of way.
Yeah.
But you know, and send us some messages. Let us know fears that you have this week.
If you have a, you know, if you have a story you want to, you want to share with us, or you want us to share on a podcast, or, you know, if you're some sort of weird expert in this, like, hit us up.
We're going to be taking guests soon, probably in the next month or two. We're going to be bringing in people, and that can range from professionals in grief, mental health, loss, all the way down to just everyday people that have experienced horrible things that maybe you heard us talk about this crazy stuff and you feel like it might be helpful to you, or you feel like your story might be helpful to someone. Let us know. Yeah. We'll set it up.
Yep. And find, share this. If there's somebody out there that you feel like can benefit from this,
spread the word.
Spread it.
Absolutely.
Out there. Yeah.
I know that we will also be on all the major and minor streaming platforms like Spotify,
Apple Podcasts,
anywhere else you listen to podcasts. Friends with Death Benefits will be available. I'm almost certain by the time this episode airs that will be up on all the major platforms. So obviously continue YouTube, but if you like Spotify or whatever else you're into, give us a listen. Like we said, spread the word. Only thing we're making off of this is people getting something out of it. So, and that's the most important thing to us. So the more you guys spread the word about it, the more people it can reach, the more chance it has to affect people. And that's the ultimate goal, I think, for us doing this. So
that's right.
The best thing you can do for us is tell people about it, spread the word.
Yep.
Tell your friends and family. Be like, hey, you guys feel like being bummed out for an hour? But it puts things into perspective. Like I said, it makes people, appreciate, realize what's important. But we're going to keep going with it. I think a big thing that we're probably going to try to touch on maybe next week is more of a positive side of things. What are things that have helped us? Yeah. What are things that have gotten us through dark times? What that looks like, the getting better part. Yeah. You said to me early on in our friendship, you give your grief and your emotions plenty of room to be what they need to be, but you don't let yourself stay in them for very long. Right. And I've tried to learn from that. Yep. And try to be that way myself. It's not always easy. Nope. But there are ways and things to make it a little easier, and I think that's something we're going to try to touch on in the next episode. Yeah. But until then, guys, be nice to each other.
Hang in there.
Definitely hang in there. And my friend Tiff always says, do something kind for somebody today because it's free. She says that a lot, and I take it to heart, and I'm trying to do that more and more all the time. And it seems simple because it is. It is. But it's super important. So thanks for all the support, guys.
Till next time.
We'll see ya.